Oh my goodness, we're live, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the grand finals of the DreamHack Malmö North American closed qualifiers. It has come down to this. There is only one slot up for grabs, and it is going to be between the Renegades and Team Liquid to see who can get it. And I know that Team Liquid are going to be hungry for another chance to fight in a big LAN after unfortunately being upset recently at the major qualifier. They want another opportunity at it, and this is going to be one of their greatest chances to do so, especially against a team like Renegades. At this point in time, Liquid far outranks Renegades just by reputation alone here. But we will have to see if Liquid's prowess stays strong or if the Renegades are going to put up a little bit of a better fight. It is time, though, for the pistol round. So let me actually turn the sound on. There we go. Sorry, I have to type that in every time. And then let's go live with the pistol. Renegades are starting off on the CT side. Team Liquid over on the T side. Let's take a look here now at how things are going to roll up. And you'll have to excuse my voice. I've been going for a little under 12 hours now, so it is starting to wear on me. You'll have to excuse me if I'm not able to get as hyped up for some of these awesome moments, but I will try my best. Anyway, Team Liquid going back into the B-bomb site, and Nex is the only player here currently to defend it. It doesn't last very long there. Tags Stan and Nitro down for about 20 to 30 HP each. It's actually just Nitro, it looks like, as Stan was back on a minute. He met Ustillo. Ustillo caught that trade, though, but look at how aggressive Team Liquid are being, really pushing on the market, as this is the only avenue that Renegades are currently using to try and retake the B-bomb site with. So they have all these players stuck back here inside of market, and no one else trying to lurk in from another direction. Nitro, just some easy picks. It's just a window shooting gallery for him. And oh, hold on now. Azur gets a double lineup. 2 shots, 2 kills. And all of a sudden, things fall down to Twist as he's alone in this 1v2. But there's not a whole lot of time to retake this and defuse the bomb either. They have to jump back onto it. Twist out into the open. JKS is holding him strong for now. And no, Twist is to leap down, but he instantly gets the headshot and the follow-up as he clutches out the 1v2 on the pistol to claim it for Team Liquid. Not so nice way to start off for Team Liquid there. So some great stuff from Twist. Knows he's trapped inside. Realizes his opponent is out of his range for him to easily just jump back out the window and defuse it. So, well, what does he do? He jumps out from the actual window itself, goes for the kill, instantly gets the headshot as well, which is probably the most amazing thing out of that one, that he didn't have like a view model issue, or not a view model, like a hitbox issue or something like that happen to him. So he instantly gets that headshot, and then almost, you know, the next 2 or 3 shots later gets the next headshot onto the following player. So some really great stuff for him. And even if he doesn't kill that second player, I'm pretty sure that second player just no longer has enough time, unless there's a kit somewhere in the site, for him to actually defuse that bomb. So regardless, him just getting that first kill secured the round. Really great stuff from Twist, and did secure it for Team Liquid after they did throw away a couple players and getting a little over-aggressive there. A little bit of trouble here in the second round, but they still secured pretty quickly with Elige getting a nice casual 4K out from the window in mid. He's going to stack up a nice amount of cash on that. 6,200, only 2 rounds into the match. Pretty good there, along with already being pretty much fully bought up. I don't think he has a reason to buy anything else here, except for maybe a nade or 2. But for the Renegades, this is going to be their light bot round. Didn't really get much done in the second round besides those 2 kills. And now we're probably going to get even less done here. We'll see, though. And Liquid are just going to go straight through mid. No reason to delay this at all. They know what they're up against. There's no reason the Renegades would do any sort of crazy buy here. So just go in, end it quickly, try to avoid as many deaths as possible. And what do you know? They don't take any deaths at all. It's a perfect round. 5-0 on the trades there. And speaking of 5-0, that's what Twist is currently. 5-0. Hasn't died yet. Especially with him coming out with the big clutches there and then stacking up some nice kills. Nitro and Elige as well. Granted, obviously only 3 rounds being played out, but just keep your eyes on that, because that could go on for a little bit longer. Meanwhile, both Nexa and Nifty have yet to frag. Nexa, I think, does have an assist. Or, excuse me, Nifty has an assist on Nexa. But anyway, we're getting into the gun round now, and what? From Nifty, it looks like a shot hit dead on, but no, misses it. Great movement to get himself over that fence to begin with and into that position, but the op shot's just not connecting, and Elige, unfortunately for Nifty, just deletes him there and gets not only that kill, but also takes down Azur as well. So now they got a path into the site. They will still have to deal with Ustillo is holding this back off. He's traded out the 2 kills that Elige got earlier on here, and he's making it troublesome for some of these other players too, as now JKS is jumping into the fold. Somehow, Ustillo stayed alive with 1 HP, but after everything is said and done, Stanislaw claims another kill, eliminating Nexa, and Ustillo finally falls. That was bound to happen, unfortunately. They knew exactly where he was, and he was already down at 1 HP. So it's going to be very hard for him to get anything more than what he'd already done. He's worth his weight in gold at this point, though. But for JKS, walks right into Stan, and that is going to close out the round for Team Liquid. A little bit closer this time, but still not enough to complete their first round. 4-0 for Team Liquid, and they are playing a very fast-paced game that the Renegades are going to have to try to adjust on even faster if they don't want to get crushed in this first map. I'm curious, I didn't get to check the vetoes in its entirety. Let me take a look here. This was the map pick for Renegades. Not too much of a surprise here. Renegades have always loved this map. I think Liquid's kind of been factoring it in more. And then the second map is going to be over on Kabul. That is going to be a bit more of an interesting one. I think that's a map that both of those teams are pretty okay with playing through, especially Liquid. It might have changed with recent LAN events, but I think when I checked the stats about a month and a half ago or so, I'm pretty sure that was, statistically speaking, I think that was Liquid's best map. So I'll have to double check that, though, as that might have changed. Like I said, that was like a month and a half ago, and that's like Egon's in Counter-Strike time. So that definitely could have changed since the last time I checked it. Anyway, Estillo is going to try to play aggressively here instead of Palace, but Nitro, almost perfect timing on the counter peek. Does take him down. It's a nice little 5v4 start for himself and the rest of his team. Everybody else on the Renegades here trying to stack towards B in hopes that it'll work its way towards that site. However, that's kind of an open book right now. It really could go either way, depending on intel that they're able to gather. And if Nitro goes in and gets the second kill on Nifty, more than likely, we're going to see them push into this A-bomb site since they've gotten so many kills. They might actually just follow through on B, too, since that would cause a rotate now. As you can already see, it's being done. It's causing a bit of a half rotate, pulling a market player out, another player inside of the window room. So they've got players on standby, basically, not really on either bomb site. Nexa also watching out to see these guys will go through, and well, he'll find 1, 2 with some assistance from JKS. Finally goes down to Stanislaw when he attempts to pick up a third frag, and now Nitro's assistance is needed in mid. Clotheslines JKS when he attempts to jump outside of the window. Elige with a great lineup against Dazer takes him out for an eco round. Not bad with the Renegades, but still no pickups at all here, as they are down 0-5. It will be another buy run for the Renegades. Their second buy run, the first one where they are fully bought up with op, full utility, and everything else as well. A nice slower start from Liquid this time around, though. They are just pacing it very, very slowly to take mid control, along with having a player back ready to go in through either Palace or Ramp. More than likely Ramp. That's Twists currently waiting to do that. Liquid, I think, are going to check out the ladder room first off, but the aim from Stan, a little bit off the mark, a little bit too high. So Nexa is able to pick up that first initial kill and hold control of the ladder room. He didn't take much damage himself either. Like I said, the aim was just a little bit too high for Stan. So Nexa only takes about 1 or 2 shots. Oh, and now jumps down below to get a second kill, too. They keep directly challenging it without a flash or anything like that, so they do let him get away with another one here now, and this is going to get bad pretty quickly if they don't counter for it. You can see the nades, the nade pathing from the CT side is now Nexa's teammates are actually trying to help him out a little bit, and he still has Azurk on top. All right, Nexa finally dead, but here's the thing, Azurk can show up. It's just a big old surprise. It's just a big meme over here inside of the ladder room. As now they have to work to eliminate him too, and by the time they finally find him, well, there's Estillo to shoot yet another player in the back. Liquid could just never get ahead of that situation in the ladder room. It kept getting played. So with that said, really nice, tricky stuff from the Renegades. Really good positioning as well to set up. Properly trading was the big key there, and it worked out beautifully for them, as Liquid never even really got that round going besides the mid control. But that's only the first stepping stone here now on a long road to recovery. Liquid obviously have quite a bit of extra cash flow, so they're good for this round. They actually might lose out for this round. They might just have to half-buy coming up in the next round. But anyway, Liquid just go back to the fast-paced style of things. They're already moving in for a full-on execution onto the A site. JKS holds, tries to transfer the spray, but they're not actually fully out just yet. So he does go down pretty quickly after he gets that first kill. A 1-to-1 to start, and Liquid are wasting no time in going for the bomb plant. They want to keep this high octane, not give any room for the Renegades to think and plan around it, as they're a much slower-paced team. So this is actually countering them out pretty well right now, but the trades remain even, bringing it down to a 3v3. Renegades are stuck by the steps position and jungle. They don't have a way out of that just yet. They're trying to pop flash their way in, but no, they just pop flashed right on the Nexus. So he's been blinded himself. He's going to be delayed a little bit. JDM misses a shot, but he's given time to correct it. Gets 1, gets 2, and knows what the third is, sitting back behind the trip stack. They're not going to need JDM for that one, though. His Twist does shut out that final kill, and Liquid go right back into controlling the situation. 6-1 now, with a reset losing bonus for the Renegades. Although they do have quite a bit of cash to buy back in for this last round here. Nexa is the only one that can't do it, so they might just have to downgrade one player in order to get him a buy, or just ignore Nexa and everyone else buys up. Or they could do what they're doing now, which I think is just going for a light buy instead of just forcing the issue here and trying to reset Liquid. So they might have a poor read on the economy, since Liquid actually still had a little bit of cash, so they could probably buy again. But all right, there we go. The one Deagle on the team is already doing some work with Ustillo pushing in there, taking down Twists. That eliminates him. JKS is going to be next up to bat here, probably. As Liquid are getting ready to swing in here in a moment. And JDM gets that entry. JKS tries to challenge it. Knocks about 50 HP, I think, off of a Liege, and does a little bit to JDM, too. However, it's not enough to get a frag onto either player. And for both Nexa and Azar, excuse me, they're going to have to rotate over. And Azar already finding himself in combat with Stan. Doesn't pan out too well. Nexa only has a USP, and that's it. He went for the full save on this round. So this is probably one you can expect to go quite handily into Team Liquid's hands. Unless Nexa pulls off some miraculous play, which is probably not going to happen with just the USP. But we've seen surprises before, and that would be the biggest one of all, wouldn't it? No. And there we go. Liege finds him out at the window. Liquid claim the 7th. Liquid actually losing their first player this time due to Azar out in mid, catching one, taking down a Liege, and now Flash is giving him room to go out and go for a second pick. He's going to get it, maybe a third. Finally meets his match against JDM, and oh, JKS looking for the trade also goes down to JDM. It takes a third player, Ustillo, who moves into connector to finally take down JDM and eliminate him. The damage has been done, though, as it's now been brought down to a 3v2. Liquid are behind due to the initial pick that was never actually really, traded back out in its entirety. However, these two players can still work a miracle here and potentially win out the round. They've got to factor the bomb in, though. Stan's coming out through underpass now. Twist is still playing around with the ramp, so I'm a little bit curious as to what the end game plan is here, since it looks like Twist is going back to get the bomb, despite the fact that he had already started moving in towards the site. It's going to be Stan, it looks like, though, who takes the first contact. But the timing on this could work out perfectly for him. Ustillo is not even paying attention to it at all, so Stan, nicely played from him, catches Ustillo. And now this is even back out into a 2v2. But there are 35 seconds remaining for them to actually get a plant. And it's looking like they're investigating an option to swing over towards B instead. Ooh, the smoke missed. I think it bounced off the corner of a step. So Stan getting a little bit unlucky there. And now does have a huge hole in between himself and the site itself. I don't think... Yeah, actually, off that smoke, too, they are going to fully read into what's happening. But the problem is the closest player has a mag 7. So that's not going to be too great. If they don't account for that, though, he can do some damage up close. Ooh, but maybe he strikes a little bit too soon. He's trying to do the best he can, but at that range, it's basically just an RNG gun, and it's not going to work out that well for him. Nifty, now the last one alive, trying to pull this off with a 1v2. Can absolutely do this. He just needs to do it quickly, as he doesn't have a kit, and I'm not sure if there's one sitting on the ground where his teammate just died. You can see looking every which way, but Liquid are not giving him anything at all. Not peeking, just hiding in the corner here. The bad news is, though, is this may give Nifty one for free. They're not paying attention to it. Tries to go for it, but got pinged and got aim punched. So at the very end of it, Liquid do indeed close out 8-1 now. Only that one round from the Renegades that was claimed 4 rounds back is the only one that they have to work off of. And they are still rebuilding their losing bonus, so their money is in a pretty bad spot currently, too. They're back down onto another just upgraded pistol or half-buy round for a few players. In fact, it looks like only one player is going to go for that half-buy. Everyone else is either sticking with their default USP or just going for a P250 in the case of Nexa and Ustillo. Liquid, at the same time, looking like they're going to go for a little bit more of a direct play this time, or at the very least just head directly into the B halls. Just holding a couple players back to make sure there's no aggression from that CT side before they commit to it. Yeah, they'll be right to do that, as there is quite a few players on the Renegades looking to play around with mid just a tiny bit here. Azar specifically may get himself into a duel with a Liege in a second here, as he's walking around with the MP7, but backs away at the final moment before actually peeking into what could have been a battle against Azar. So Azur is now going to start to push forward and take position himself. As far as the T's are concerned, this is clear, so this could be a big play from Azur unless it gets checked again. In which case, he's actually okay now because of how far push forward he is. And there we go, sneaks in for one, catches Nitro without a rifle out, but JDM able to recover upon that one. He does trade it back, taking down Azur. And now Stanislaw already has advanced positioning in the site, so rotates are just going to get completely destroyed. JDM as well, a quick adjustment to take down Nifty after he got a good position against him. And for Elige, well, these kills up this close with the MP7, these ones are easy, and there you go. JKS and Nexa fall onto him. He gets a nice little $1,200 bonus right at the end there, and picks up the 9th round for Team Liquid. So not much of a contest, unfortunately, being put up by the Renegades here on their CT side. Another gun round for them, so it's another opportunity to try and get themselves onto a bit of a winning streak to attempt to recover, at the very least. There's just 5 rounds remaining in the half. But if Renegades do win another round, it needs to be consistent. And oh, unfortunate for Nifty. He does leg JDM. It's not enough for the kill, though. The good news is that Ustilo and Azur do make their marks. And Ustilo with another kill, too. Twist, though, lines up a double. They don't account for another player out the ramp, and JDM also still has connector control. So it was looking great for the Renegades after they lost that initial op battle. But all of a sudden, it's gone back on its heels. Everything's up to Nexa in a 1v2. The good news for Nexa is that JDM extremely low at 16 HP, and Twist is not looking much better, and there you go. Nexa's already got 1 kill, but Twist so sneaky, but it's not sneaky enough. Nexa's able to get that 2nd kill, and he closes out the 1v2. He'll be stealing a round away for the Renegades here, as they will finally pick up another one. So pause will come in here now. I'm not entirely sure who it's from. I'm going to guess Renegades, because the only other round they won so far, they messed up the follow-up round. So I'm going to guess that they're trying to figure out how they want to play this one out to make sure that that doesn't happen again. Or at the very least, if that does happen, that they can at least save a few guns, so that they don't completely get brought down to an eco or force by the round after. Considering how late we're getting into the half here now. They really can't let that happen again, because if it does, then that's just handing over so many rounds to Liquid, and it might as well be the map at that point. They need to be really careful here, as this is where this scoreline can either get great for the Renegades, and they bring it back towards, you know, like 10-5, 9-6, something like that, or it can go completely out of control, and we can end on something like 13-2, which pretty much is a death toll for Renegades, unless they can somehow win the pistol the first and second gun rounds. Which would be a huge turnaround after what we've seen so far in the first half, even though it is on a completely different side. Nifty is going to try to play a little bit more forward with the op this time. This is a new position for him. He hasn't been here before, and while Team Liquid certainly don't expect it, Nitro just caught running out into the open. Goodbye to him, and that's an early 5v4 for these guys to work off of. The buy from the Renegades isn't actually even that good either. You can see how low their money was. Stan trying to sneak in through connector. Oh, is he going to timing Ustilo again? Oh my god, he is. That's the 2nd time now where he's caught Ustilo at a bad position or just moving around in the open and was able to punish him for that. He was eventually ready to take that 1v1, but still. And now Stan finds another one by the same circumstances. Azur was not paying attention for that, assumed that Stan had gone further into the site, and that's his mistake, because now they've lost another player. And again, these rounds starting off so well for one team, getting an easy free kill at the beginning, but all of a sudden they spin back in the other direction, and now it's up to the Renegades to make up for that one. They've got Nifty pushed further back. He could catch Stan here. There's finally the trade against him. Stan's been causing so many issues for them. Back inside of the window room there. Now Elige is going to be able to trade that kill back, though, as he takes out Nexa, leaving Nifty as the solo defender of this B-bomb site. Molly right in his face, too. Gets 1 kill, but the tagging there slowing him down so much. There's no escape once he picks up that kill, and the Molly keeps him out in the open. This 2v1 should be a quick closeout here. We'll see what JKS has to offer, but he already has to wait an extra, like, 3 to 4 seconds as a result of this Molly. And JDM for sure is going to be watching out for that window now. Let's actually switch over to his perspective for a second. He's actually checking the door, but he has a quick flick, as you can see on the left side there, right over towards the window, should JKS go in that direction. And I have no doubt in my mind that JKS can hit that shot. So, he's here still. I'm not sure if he's going for it or not, though. He's losing all of his time. If he was going to save, you'd think he'd go further away. Maybe trying to go in at the last moment to pick up some exits at the very least. We're, like, so far into the half, though, and Liquid have so much money. So I guess he's just sitting here trying to save the op as his end game. And yeah, it does succeed on that. I didn't realize that the op was still sitting out there, so I guess that was his overall focus. Works out, though, because he never actually revealed himself, so Liquid never for sure knew he was there. But they keep that gun. Problem is, this is still a reset. And this is exactly what they didn't want to have happen. As this is what happened like 5 rounds before the last round they won. It's the same exact thing happened. They built up a losing bonus, won 1 round right before they were about to get full losing bonus, and reset. It's literally happened on almost perfect timing so far throughout this half. And that's exactly what Liquid won, as it just makes the rest of the half so much easier. Renegades are going to buy into it, and obviously they still have the saved op. But the force buy still isn't that great. Nifty almost caught early on here, too. Tries to quickly flick back into it, but he's not going to find the shot that easily. Besides that, it's a 1-for-1 trade. And Liquid are holding right now after getting that mid-control. They don't want to push in just yet. They want to make sure they can get 1 more kill before fully committing. And now they do have it, so they can finally push themselves into this A-bomb site with only really 1 more player to eliminate. For some reason, they don't pay too much mind to the firebox area, so JKS gets away with another kill. Still not completely out of their control. It's down to a 2v3 now, and one of those guns is the op. So they probably have a vested interest in keeping that one alive, since if they just toss that into the hands of Liquid, well, it's only hurting their chances even more. But at the same time, they need to use this gun. So they are going to position it inside of Connector in hopes that at least maybe 1 or 2 players work their way out from Ticket, maybe even Jungle, and that he can punish guys there. It's a short-lived occasion, though, as Nifty does eventually fall back with the Nexus supporting him, as indeed they are going to prioritize saving this op over attempting to clutch a 2v3, and that's just going to put Liquid right back in control again, going up to 11-2 now. And this reset is rough, because look at the way that it positions itself with the round, too. It's not really going to be optimal. I don't even think that they're saving here, either. I think they're just going for it again. They need to pick up as many rounds as they can, so it looks like they're just working off of that philosophy here and just trying to force up to their best ability. And then if the worst should happen, they'll deal with the 13-2 half, if that happens. So another force for them. They do get everybody with at least a primary weapon, so you still have the op. And then 4 SMGs. One guy's going to end up on a saved MP7 and 3 umps besides that one. The MP7 can be a rather capable gun, especially from this position, too. He can do some work with it. He needs to keep himself hidden, though, is going to be the issue. As if he gives himself away too early, and if they realize he has an MP7, then they can just play at range. And that gun becomes a little bit harder to use. Although we saw earlier, one player was able to control it at range really well. And got like 2 instant headshots on 2 different players that were about a foot or 2 apart. Leash has already gotten 1 kill, though. So he also tends to use this MP7 a little more. In fact, I think that's his MP7 sitting on Nexa right now. Yusilo out. Oh, doesn't realize that Leash is there, but is able to correct it on a double take. Knocks him out. There goes the pressure from Underpass for right now. And the rest of Team Liquid, well, most of them are stuck at top mid right now. Haven't really moved out just yet. I don't think it's by reason of them being scared to. I think it's just the timing really hasn't worked out in their favor so far. But they're going to do it now, as they kind of need to. With only 40 seconds left, they are going to have to move into an execute position pretty shortly here. And if they don't, well, then that's going to leave them too little time to take the site. Thankfully for them, there is really only 1 player out on A right now. The other one is way back inside a window room. And oh no, Yusilo thinks that corner is safe, but he does have his shoulder poked back out. JKS, at the very least, able to swing in a window and catch a trade. And that's just going to be, I think, an op on the ground for him to try and play with, too. Azar lining up another one. This is the domino effect we saw earlier when they were playing around inside of the ladder room and won a round off of that. But all of a sudden, there's Nitro gone down. Twist is to hold the line inside of jungle. There's a second player that he should realize is here. And JKS not able to spot through the smoke just yet. Doesn't have great vision in knowing that the player's on the other side. But all of a sudden, there's another pickup. It's traded back from Twist, though, and this goes into a 1v1. JKS knows exactly where Twist is. He just has to find him out, as he is hiding a little bit further back over there inside of the window room. JKS needs to challenge it, unfortunately, and this is where Twist gets back his advantage. He walks back in, tries to do work with the pistol, as he didn't feel confident with the op. And off of that, Liquid close out on their 12th round here. And for the Renegades, well, for the 15th, they'll have basically the same buy that they had before, except now they're not even going to have the op. So a lot more aggressive this time from the Renegades at half, or at the end of the half. They're going to try to push back up, and the time works out okay. They're going to get 1. The flashbang from the T's, though, did counter them out pretty well and prevented them from getting that immediate second kill. But elsewhere, Nifty did push in, got another kill inside of the palace. So It still worked out okay. Now Nifty even upgrading himself over to an AK, so he doesn't just have to play with that CZ anymore. So that's actually a pretty good start for the Renegades. Probably could have gotten a third one if they dodged that flash, but I'm sure they're happy with 2. And now, beautiful lineup from Nifty. Great position, too. That's the bomb gone down. So goodbye to Stanislaw. All of a sudden, this has turned into a 2v5 with JDM and Elige somehow trying to battle this back. And Elige would be the one that would probably have to start it. Problem is, though, is that they are accounting for mid-pressure since Liquid has pretty much taken it every single round so far in the half. So the second he peeks out, he will be dealing with pressure. It's even worse as he... Okay, misses it initially. But somehow you still can't get that kill quickly enough on the ump at that range. So Elige survives, gets that one. That's the very start of what's otherwise an impossible round, though. And Nexa did indeed trade an Elige just moments later. JDM, well, this will be a big play from him. He's otherwise had a relatively okay half, actually. But just not enough prowess there to be able to push through and pull off a 1v4. So Renegades do get themselves a third round at the end of it. I'm sure Liquid are not really going to be too upset by losing that final round. They still end up 12-3 at halftime. And one pistol round will essentially secure them up to 15 rounds. And then they only need the one gun round there, or one round in general, to just close out on this first map in a nice quick fashion. So we are at halftime, folks. And as soon as the players have readied up, we'll go live on 3 again. And we get to see if this will be a quick closeout or if the Renegades will have a little bit of a better fight to bring to the table now on their T side. Renegades probably just taking a second here. Shaky ass, I think. Had to go to the bathroom or something because he's not moving. Either that or he is talking right now. Which is probably very likely in that they basically have to win this pistol. So they need a plan for the first, like, 6 rounds here if they want to have any chance of getting back into this game. And that might take a minute to figure it out in its entirety. There we go. I hear ticking. I think that means someone just readied up. There we go. All right. Second half time here now. And it's do or die time for the Aussies. Losing this one. Oh, that's going to send them back over to the second map, which, while it is their pick, the second map, it's not a bad map for Liquid either. I talked about this before. I should double-check it as we jump into that second map, just to get some updated stats as far as how Cobblestone is now for Team Liquid. But last time I checked it was one of their better maps, if not the best map in terms of win percentage, and just purely maps played. So I'll have to go and take another look at that. It's a little bit hard to compare the stats, too, since Renegades, unfortunately, don't have as much land stats to work with compared to Liquid. But we can still take a check right before we start the second map. Anyway, Renegades quickly out onto the A-bomb site and swinging their way over towards the window room. Elige with a very casual one-tap there, but he does get dinked afterwards, so he has to fall back. His teammate's going to take his spot, though. But that is basically an open bomb site they're given, since Team Liquid basically plays into a retake with a much heavier stack towards B to counter out that should they have gone that direction. They already have a flank working back over here into the ramp area, where Stan's got to kill another one-tap over here inside of the dark room. This time, this time it's from JDM, and now Azur falls to it as well. Now the JDM jumps into the window room, and there you go. Besides the loss of Stanislaw there, it is a completely clean retake from Liquid, and they are going to control both pistols, going up now 13-3, 10 rounds ahead of the Renegades. And with a plant, well, there's a very important choice we made here now for the Renegades. Do they just try to force now to give themselves a few more opportunities and give themselves a couple more mistakes? Or do they still go on along that traditional route basically give Liquid a very good chance of swinging up to 14 rounds, but also giving them an earlier full buy with AKs and everything like that. And it does seem they've chosen the latter option, just a single flashbang here, and it's probably going to be a pretty quick pop into A with a follow-up, just with the pure priority of getting the plant so that they make sure they don't have any issues with their buy in the third round. If they don't get this plant, they're still going to have the sacrifice of a couple of things. There'll be small things, but there'll be things that'll make the difference if it turns into a more long and drawn-out round, which may be the case here, as you've seen today from the Renegades playstyle. They're definitely not getting that plan as far as I can tell, and yeah, they all get taken down pretty quickly there. Twist, even on the front line, only loses 48 damage from that round, so nice quick cleanup from Liquid and making sure that they prevent that second plant. So the buys come in, and like I said, they get pretty much everything they need. The things they're missing are going to be like, they won't have an op, which they would have had trouble getting that even if they got the second buy, or the second plant. They're not going to be able to get, you know, any advanced utility here, and that's anything beyond smokes and flashes. That's the bigger deal, because now they can't molly out, you know, hunkered down positions from the CTs, and they're also not going to have them just for general post-plant stuff to block off retake angles and whatnot as well. So they only have smokes and basically one opportunity to set themselves up, and they also have to look towards saving some of those smokes for the post-plant. So it has limited their potential quite a bit compared to a fully bought round. They don't have that luxury of the fully bought round, though, as if they wait until the fourth round, well, Liquid's going to be at 15, and that would mean that Renegades would have to win 12 straight without a single loss, and that's pretty much impossible, except unless you're a miracle maker. So, nice slow start from the Renegades, and this is very much their style. Wouldn't be too surprising if we saw them wait all the way down for another 30 seconds or so before they actually did execute here. But that doesn't mean they're not going to play around with other parts of the map. Specifically with JKS being able to find his opening kill inside of the palace. He's already taken down a leash. There's not a lot of resistance in mid either from Liquid. Liquid put a lot of focus on the sights. Even Twist pushing out on ramp completely. Oh, and he's up on top too. He's got a lot of ground. This is dangerous. If they don't check for him, he might actually wait and not immediately go for the first kill. Nope, he does get spotted, so he gets the one, and there's a trade a second later. But now it's brought down to a 3v4 here in the favor of the Renegades, and quick rotates need to work their way over from Liquid. Otherwise, this round is going to go by the way of the Renegades, and it's looking like that after Nifty got an additional pickup onto JDM. It's down to a 2v4 here now. Nitro trying to spray through Ticket, but all he's done is give himself away via the Tracers. So he's going to be down to 10 HP, and pretty much a non-factor for this round. Best hope now is just to wait this one out and hope that Stan, at the very least, can get an exit or two inside of this Palace position. Winning this one round is not a huge deal at all for Liquid, or Renegades for that matter. Stan is actually going to hop back up, getting one more pickup there. Now trades it out. He's got himself a better gun to play with. It's actually made it work out for himself pretty well. Azra, in the meantime, did take out the last man over in the site. So we did see the loss of that last Team Liquid player, and it is only going to be Stanislaw surviving the round. But he gets outside of it, survives the encounter. I don't think anyone's even going to be able to get close enough to actually challenge him. So he's still in good shape. And he actually is running right over here to where the two Ts were hiding out. It's a good thing they didn't go a little bit further than that to look for him, as that might have caused a drop of that. But like I said, they were on a light buy anyway. Still, they were still working with their guns from the anti-ecos, or the anti-eco. So they still had a couple like SMGs and whatnot, and now they're gonna have no problems rebuying as they still have the cast reserve plus the losing bonus. So this is the real test for the Renegades. Like I said, they need a plan for the first like 6 rounds. They already lost the first 2. So now they need to try and win out the next 3 here if they want to have a chance. And even then, they still need another 2 or 3 to really get themselves back into the match. So this is rough going for the Renegades. But they've at the very least bought themselves an opportunity by winning out that first gun round. It's going to be their one and only opportunity, though. It's a trade again, as we saw that many times. 2 times, in fact, back in the first half. Pretty much sealed their fate on this devastating first half scoreline of 12-3. Now they cannot let this happen again. This cannot be a reset for a 3rd time. So it's slow mid-take from the Renegades. There's no resistance from the CTs, at least initially, but nicely timed. Stanislaw very carefully popping up on top of the Tetris blocks there. Gets himself one, Elige with another. Azur didn't even notice that Elige was there at first, so he has to do a double take himself. JDM gets cornered, so there's another pickup, down to a 2v3 now, though, as they continue to lose a lot of their own players. Nitro patiently waits out for Azur to peek again and gets him, so everything falls to Nifty here now in a 1v3 situation, and he still hasn't even completely cleared the site yet. There's still going to be twists waiting for him behind the trip stack. Nifty tries to bypass it, but like I said, they didn't clear it out, so he didn't even fully know that twist was here. Tried to gamble on it, but it did not pay off. And now Team Liquid goes up to map point with a 9-round lead over the Renegades. Excuse me, an 11-round lead over the Renegades. And the force from the Renegades, well, they get themselves 1 AK in the hands of Ustillo. And actually, Ustillo, this smoke isn't perfect. So, there you go. There's a pickup from Ustillo. Gets himself that one for free, at the very least, by the virtue of the smoke being messed up. You can see that Elige was trying to abuse that, too. Unfortunately, it fought right back for him. The extra kill is going to be short-lived, though, as Twist has already traded one back, taking down JKS. They still have that AK, so they haven't lost all their firepower just yet. And JDM, well, there's going to be a chance for him to get killed here if he's not careful. Misses that shot. Ustillo not following up on it. And they don't use that as an opportunity to get another player inside. But Nitro denies the play from Azur to try and get inside of the window room here. And JDM knows that JDM knows that Ustillo is still sitting inside of this connector somewhere, so he takes him out. Nifty's next up to bat, and he falls trying to push out through the apartments. All that's left here is Nexa now, and he has a measly little scout. If he 1v4s this would be crazy. But I think this might be the map for Team Liquid here. Oh, and tagging on the wall, too, so now they know where he's at for sure. And there's, okay, he gets one. He's getting tagged back, though, so Twist will catch that trade. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Team Liquid are going to take dominant control of map number 1, and they will now go up 1-0. 16-4 is going to be the final scoreline here for Mirage. This was the map choice from Team Liquid, so it was expected, of course, that they do take this one. Our second map is going to be over on Cobblestone. So stick with us, and as soon as the players have transitioned to that map and are ready to rock and roll, we'll be bringing it back to you. While you wait, why don't you enjoy some rock and roll?